Hello and welcome to Chabot News for April 13th, 2022. My name is Joe, and in today's news we will be covering COVID-19 and violence in America. Andrew will go over sports and entertainment, including baseball and Will Smith. And you won't want to miss Jared with his top 5 funny fish of the week. All that and more coming up on Chabot News. Daily COVID-19 cases are ticking up in the U.S. once again. The tracker from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows that trend. So does the political scene in Washington, D.C. Amy Kiley reports more and more top politicians are testing positive.
Over the next couple of weeks, we are going to see an uptick in cases, and hopefully there's enough background immunity so that we don't wind up with a lot of hospitalizations.
We can already see that uptake in the daily counts, but not yet in the weekly numbers. Cases these days are nowhere near the Omicron peak, and they're holding steady or even declining in some states. But these parts of the U.S. are seeing cases rise. One place with a high-profile outbreak is Washington, D.C.
There have been COVID cases among senior officials. There's COVID cases among people who work other jobs too, of course. The important thing is that people be protected from severe COVID. These
are just some of the top politicians and staff members who have tested positive recently. When news broke of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's positive test, here's how the White House responded.
We have to take serious precautions. We should stay masked up when we feel it's appropriate, and just use common sense.
But Vice President Kamala Harris was not masked up when presiding over the Senate Thursday. She was in close contact with her communications director before he announced he'd tested positive. The White House says Harris had consulted with a White House physician prior to her decision. But CDC guidelines urge masking after close contact exposures. Now lawmakers are offered a 2-week Easter break without having passed a COVID-19 relief package. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Thanks, Amy. Speaker Pelosi was twice in contact with President Joe Biden in recent days before her positive diagnosis. But the White House says no additional safety protocols are being considered at this time. A suspect is now in custody after a deadly shooting in the Bronx. And we're learning new details about the triple murder at a Grantville, Georgia shooting range. Both shootings are part of a string of deadly gun violence across the nation this weekend. Cole Higgins has the latest.
These guns are too easy to build, too hard to trace, and too dangerous to be on our streets. Just ask the family of that beautiful 16-year-old who was killed in the Bronx.
2 days after a 16-year-old girl was shot and killed while walking home from school in the Bronx, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York is calling on the federal government to deal with what he calls an explosion in unregulated weapons. Police say the 17-year-old who was arrested Saturday for the shooting may have been using a ghost gun.
A child that has zero police contact at all, and he goes from smoking marijuana to killing somebody.
In Grantville, Georgia, the State Bureau of Investigation still working to find out who brutally murdered the owner of a gun range, his wife, and their teenage grandson this weekend.
The store's been here for a long time. The range has been here for a long time. And there's people from all around come and shoot here. I mean, it's just not people from Grantville.
Investigators say as many as 40 guns and the range's surveillance camera and recorder were taken from the scene. In Cedar Rapids, Iowa, 2 people are dead and at least 10 others injured after an early Sunday morning shooting at a nightclub. And in Indianapolis, police say a fight at a birthday party led to another deadly shooting. 1 person is dead and 5 others wounded. I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Thanks, Cole. The weekend violence comes as President Biden faces pressure to take more steps to address gun violence. Biden is expected to announce new firearm regulations by Monday, April 11th. The regulations on so-called ghost guns, unregulated and untraceable weapons made from kits, would help address a critical gap in the government's ability to track them. And now we'll go to Andrew with entertainment news.
Thanks, Joe. Will Smith will not be on stage at next year's Academy Awards to present an award. That's because the actor has been banned from attending the Oscars for the next decade. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences handed down the consequence Friday as a result of Smith slapping comedian Chris Rock on stage during this year's ceremony. In a statement, the Academy said the board decided Smith will not be allowed to attend any Academy events or programs in person or virtually for a period of 10 years. However, he can still be nominated for awards. Smith announced his resignation from the Academy last week. He issued a quick, concise statement on his ban, saying he accepts and respects the Academy's decision so far. No response from Chris Rock. Bennifer 2.0 will give it another go. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have confirmed they are engaged. It marks the second engagement for the singer, actress, and actor couple after calling off a prior pledge in 2004. Lopez shared a video through her newsletter that shows off a green engagement ring. Her sister also shared photos from that video with the caption, "So this happened, love you." Lopez and Affleck first met back in 2001 on the movie set of Jiggly. Their first engagement in 2002 was followed by a wedding delay and then a call-off of nuptials. The two reunited romantically in 2021. This will be the fourth marriage for 52-year-old Lopez and the second for 49-year-old Affleck. That's all for entertainment news. Now back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Andrew. Sean Kumagai is one of 4 candidates running for the California State Assembly District 20 seat, which is currently held by Bill Quirk, who announced his retirement after 9 years serving the district. Kumagai is currently a city council member of Dublin, where he focused on affordable housing for seniors and low income. District 20 encompasses all of Hayward, Castro Valley, Ashland, Cherryland, San Lorenzo, Fairview, Union City, and parts of San Leandro, Fremont, Dublin, and Pleasanton. Kumagai wants to expand his work to address housing affordability, increase funding for schools, and renewable energy sources. His background includes 20 years of Navy experience, which he notes would help public safety and bring about significant improvement to criminal justice. An investigation is currently underway looking into an undisclosed relationship between a BART manager and their spouse who works for a San Francisco-based construction company. Their relationship may have influenced a $40 million contract approval with the company. The contract was to build a new Fremont station and for Hayward track maintenance. The General Inspector, Harriet Richardson, calls for BART to void the contract and to stop ongoing construction. Richardson says there was no indication that the BART manager and the construction company, PGH Wong Engineering, purposefully hid their relationship. Richardson also adds the possibility of litigation if both parties resume services. Right now, we are going back to Andrew for some sports stories.
Thanks again, Joe. Baseball is back. After a brief lockout, the MLB and the MLB Players Association were able to reach an agreement on a new deal to end the hiatus and start the regular season of games. The baseball season was originally scheduled to start on March 31st, but the ongoing negotiations pushed opening day to Thursday, April 7th. The San Francisco Giants held their first game back on Friday, April 8th, where they defeated the Miami Marlins 6-5 in a back-and-forth game that took extra innings to decide. The 49ers find themselves in a difficult contract negotiation with star wide receiver Deebo Samuel. Deebo is entering the last year of his rookie contract following his best season as a pro, where he recorded 1,400 receiving yards, 15 total touchdowns, and gained first-team All-Pro honors. 49ers general manager John Lynch has stated that Deebo is foundational to the team and will be a part of the organization for a long, long time. Last week, after massive contract signings from other wide receivers around the league and still no deal in place for the 49ers star player, Deebo responded by deleting over 80 Instagram posts that showed pictures of him in a Niners uniform, and also removed any recognition of the team from his bio. The negotiation is far from over, but the team is still hoping that a new contract could be agreed upon by the start of training camp. That's all from me, so back to you, Joe.
Thanks, Andrew. It's now more expensive to grab a slice of pizza in New York than it is to catch the subway. That's according to Bloomberg. And if you're asking why compare the two, well, for decades, they've hovered around the same price. Dubbed as the pizza principle, New Yorkers were able to tell how much a ride would be according to the price of a slice. But higher prices for ingredients has changed the standard. New Yorkers are now paying a little more than $3 to enjoy a slice, but are paying less to catch a ride, at $2.75 to be exact. Now let's go to Jared with his top 5.
Thanks, Joe. These funky creatures live in the sea, and that sure is alright with me. For this week's top 5, I'm going to be listing off my choices for the top 5 funny fish. Now, an honorable mention goes to the wahoo, simply because its name is amazing. Other than that, there's nothing else too funny about it. To start us off at number 5, we have the sunfish. This massive creature can weigh even more than a car, making it the world's largest bony fish. This funny, flat-looking fish doesn't even have a tail. I would love to float around these funny fellas. At number 4 comes this pufferfish. They look so goofy when inflated, but don't let that fool you. They're actually the most poisonous fish in the sea. And you see those teeth? They never stop growing and will eat practically anything. The number 3 spot goes to the giant frogfish. This blob of frog isn't a frog at all, it's a fish, and it can camouflage really well. Not only that, but their attack is among the fastest in the world, being able to trap prey in .006 seconds. Poor guy always looks so angry though. Now we've got a wild one for number 2. It's the Gulper Eel. This beast has a huge head and it can unhinge its jaws to eat large prey. It's basically an underwater pelican. However, you probably won't run into this one because it likes to chill deep in the ocean. And finally at number 1, we have the tripod fish. It's literally a fish with 3 legs. It's a fish slapped onto a tripod. Unfortunately for this funny fish, its eyes are essentially useless on the seafloor, which probably explains why this dude is just standing there. Now that's it for my top 5. Back to Joe for one final story.
Thank you, Jared. Google just rolled out a new feature that makes it easier for users to search for things that are hard to describe. On Thursday, the company unveiled a new search option that allows you to combine text and images in a single question. For example, you can take a picture of a couch, upload it along with the word chair, and you'll be able to find ones that are similar. A Google executive says the multi-search feature is experimental for now. It's available for US users with the Lens feature on Google's mobile app. At this moment, it's expected to be used for shopping-related searches. That's all for Chabot News this week. Thanks to all the students and staff in the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/ChabotTV. Now stay tuned to KCTH Channel 27 for more Chabot TV.